Now, I feel like there is a big, well, I don't know. I don't know anything about LinkedIn advertising. I will admit this to you, Josh. I was super gung-ho, super excited about LinkedIn advertising. And I went in and I created a campaign. This is 4 months ago. And I was like, I'm going to use it to get more Lurn Center members. The campaign that we tested has come and gone. We've already canceled it. And LinkedIn is yet to spend $1. I get updates every week. They're like, hey, it's your, and I never even went in there to look at what's going on. Maybe my bidding isn't high enough. I didn't care. I was like, okay, I'm not getting enough flow from there anyways. I really am intrigued right now with the idea of using LinkedIn's ad system to grow the group, at least. So talk to me a little bit about it. Let's say you did have a client that said, I got a lot of money. I want to get to 10,000 members fast. I don't got time to do it organically. Let's go buy them. What would your strategy look like? Which of the ad platform? What would you use? How much money would you plan on spending per member? Like some idea of how you would use advertising.
So with LinkedIn ads, almost every client that we work with on LinkedIn ads is using it to generate sales appointments, not to get people into LinkedIn groups, because I really believe it would be cost prohibitive. Because you're looking at probably $3 to $5 per click. So if I was going to do it, though, I think the way that I would play it is that I would go to first have the ad send people to a landing page, basically get people to opt in to be a part of this exclusive community. And you're probably, if you do it right, and if you nail the hook and all that kind of stuff, you're probably looking at $20, maybe $15 per person that opts in to be a part of the group. So they opt in on the landing page with their email and name, and then on the next page it says, great, you're in. Next step, just go click here to join the LinkedIn community. So you get their email, so you're building that list, and then you get them into the LinkedIn group. And the reason why I recommend put that email gate in front of the LinkedIn group if you're using ads is because then you can kind of position this exclusivity on the front of it to where it's almost make it feel like they're applying to be a part of it. If you have a LinkedIn ad that just goes straight into a LinkedIn group, you're going to probably have a lot of leakage from people that don't even know what to do. Because it's not like a super clear instruction of like, click here to join the group. They're just looking at this kind of gross looking page. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So,
it would be expensive.
So that's $20 a group member, but you are building an email list also. But you initially you had said, hey, if you really want to grow your group using ads, go to Facebook ads. What would that ad look like? Would it go ad opt-in page group, same strategy you just said, or would that go ad straight to LinkedIn group?
I mean, I personally, I think you almost, you can do whatever you want, but I think you would almost have to get them to opt in and give you their email first so that you could at least have some pixels on that page. You can't put your pixels for tracking on your LinkedIn group page, and so for that reason, I would have that first. But yeah, also just for the same reasons I said with LinkedIn ads. But definitely your costs on Facebook are going to be cheaper. You're also going to see a lot more people probably from Facebook who aren't maybe the exact right person that you want. So in a lot of ways, people will say like LinkedIn ads are too expensive. And what we say to that is, well, really at the end of the day, do you care about cost per click or do you care about ROI? And for a lot of businesses, not all, but the ones where LinkedIn makes sense for, they're willing to pay more to get leads because they're very high quality leads, and the ROI makes a lot of sense once people get all the way through a funnel.
Makes perfect sense. So let's go back to your original. Here's what it would look like for me. By the way, I do want to ask a question because I know I've been very self-serving for this, but everyone is listening. We have a lot of students that are local marketing consultants. I mean, would your strategy is pretty much the same, right? Like I'm going to assume if you brought on a digital marketing consulting company, they want to sign clients, just same thing, right? Maybe they don't have geographical limitations, in which case you create a group that doesn't have geographical limitations. But would your strategy remain the same for them as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean,
okay.
We have a lot of marketing agencies that are clients.
All right, brilliant. So now let's go back to using LinkedIn to book appointments. In my case, I'm gonna have a sales member who would be able to get in a car and even drive down to them if they need to, and sell them on the value and have a beautiful package that shows, hey, when you get when you put your team in here, this is, they'll learn this. It's ROI is ridiculous. So I'm assuming I have to create some page that really, shows the value of that. Talk to me though about the ad strategy that goes straight to appointment. What kind of numbers, what kind of conversions, what do you usually see?
Yeah, so there's a few different things at play here. So I want to pull up a deck from a talk I gave recently so I can give you some specifics on it. But one is we call it the RTA funnel, which is essentially just get people to opt into a free report, some sort of giveaway, and then on the thank you page, have a video inviting them to have a one-on-one session, and then email follow-ups driving people back into that appointment page. That's a pretty standard kind of funnel for people trying to get appointments.
Yeah. We use that funnel all the time here, so.
Yeah. So that kind of thing works well if your offer is good and you've got a good hook for why they should book an appointment. That can work well. And you're probably going to be looking at $150 to $200 per appointment. It's typically what I would say to expect. It can be more, it can be less. It just depends. In our business, for my own company, for example, we spend about $20,000 a month on LinkedIn ads generating appointments for my sales team, and usually generate about a 5-to-1 ROI on the sales from that. And so we're fine paying, we don't care what the cost per appointment is really if the ROI is there. So the other funnel that we'll use is the what we call the DTA funnel, which is direct to appointment. And so typically what that's going to look like is you're going to have an ad that's going to show up in somebody's LinkedIn homepage feed. And that's what LinkedIn calls sponsored content or sponsored posts. And you've got basically an invitation in the ad to have a conversation. Sometimes we'll have a video that's part of it. It can be an animated explainer video or a talking head video talking about your services and what you do. And then a lot of times the call to action on there is just like get a quote or sign up for a time to have a conversation. So that's really a very direct message. And then that would go, once they click that button, it will take them to a LinkedIn lead form. So you can set it up without having to create landing pages using this kind of a funnel. And that can work. And we get good results doing that. The third one is dynamic retargeting. So on LinkedIn, there are a couple ways to retarget, which is a complete no-brainer for almost anybody. And this is something that is new within the last couple of years on LinkedIn, but you can have a pixel on your site. So just like retargeting works on Facebook, and then anybody that hits that site, you can do a few things. One, you can show them ads. There's a few different types of ads you can show people on LinkedIn. But the really, really cool thing that we're excited about is you can send a sponsored InMail to them. So anybody that hits that pixel, it can then trigger them getting a message from you on LinkedIn. You're not connected to this person. This is just somebody who hit your website and was checking you out. And then at some point down the road, they get an InMail from you that can say whatever you want to say and has a nice little banner image next to it. And that is surprisingly cheap right now. So and getting that message in front of people for like $1 and converts really well if your message is on point.
So it's $1 per message. What percentage of people receiving that are you seeing currently kind of opening it? And
over half.
Wow. And you said at some point down. So let's say I have an ad on LinkedIn and it's talking about the local group on digital marketing training, come to a free event, blah, blah, blah. They go to an opt-in page. It's offering them the ability to get a seat to a free event, to up-level their digital marketing skills. They don't opt in. Or better yet, you know what? They opt in. They go ahead and opt in, and the next page is like, hey, book a call with me. They don't book a call. I can trigger an InMail that would go to them. How long after that event would you say an InMail should go to them?
Well, it depends. 'Cause here's the thing with retargeting, if you're manually sending InMails, then you just kind of decide based on, your preferences, like how soon should we follow up with people. But if you're having it automatically retriggered through retargeting, you don't really have discretion on that. There are some ways you can set it up, but you're not guaranteed to get the message to anybody because LinkedIn won't allow somebody to get more than one of these a month. because they don't want people getting bombarded with these kinds of promotions.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're not going to hit everybody that hits your site immediately. It'll happen sometime a little bit further down the road.
So they don't let me do like, hey, 2 days in, send this. 4 days in, send this. Not like kind of like a retargeting ad. We can do all of that.
Not exactly like that. Now with LinkedIn ads, you can do things like that. Because of course you could show, text ads or ads that show up in their homepage feed, and things like that. You can have those triggered a little bit more accurately, I guess.
Got it. That's awesome. So, I mean, it's crazy. Some of the data that you've been given. I mean, it's to the T what I get from even Facebook. You said $150 to $200 per appointment on the RTA funnel. That's like to the dot what we get when we run on Facebook ads. The difference is we're going for B2C in that market, and here you're telling me I can get B2B. I can make a 3x ROI on a B2C lead at $150 to $200 a lead all day long. We've been proving that in our business all day long. And now I can completely see how so I can use LinkedIn to get the exact same dollar amount per lead, but I'm going after a much, much better, like more money buyer. And so you said 5x ROI, 500%. I said, makes perfect sense. Like the numbers are lining up almost exactly. Really, I only have one.
The key here is that you don't just turn on LinkedIn ads and get those results. So I don't want anybody messaging me saying like, hey Josh, I tried some LinkedIn ads and I wasn't getting appointments, and I spent $1,000 and I didn't get any appointments. And because there's a lot more than just turning on some LinkedIn ads and setting up who you want the ads to show to, right? I mean, so much of this comes down to the offer, the hook. What's your lead magnet going to be? Your positioning, right? So there's a real soft skill. There's an art and a science to this stuff. But for somebody like yourself, Anik, that's already got a funnel that's converting really well over here, or that understands marketing, understands your prospects, that can really work. Now, we have a lot of clients that come to us and need help with that stuff, and it takes time. It can take several months to dial in an offer that's going to convert at a good level. So if you're new to this kind of thing, you have to have that kind of runway.
No, that's beautiful. I get it. It makes perfect sense. Just one more question about advertising, and that is text ads, video ads, image ads. I know what works and what I like to do on Facebook. What works on LinkedIn?
A little bit of all of it, really.
Okay. Yeah, so no, like Facebook, you lean towards video. It just does a lot better, but not the case with LinkedIn necessarily.
Well, so right now, video on LinkedIn is great. They're really promoting it in the feed for organic engagement. And video is very effective in ads as well. So I love that. LinkedIn Live is a thing that's coming out. They've started, some people are in it on a beta, and I've started to see it pop up. And so, yeah, LinkedIn is definitely pushing video. But we like to do a mix of all the different things and kind of see which one's going to work best. Now, if I had to only do one thing, it would be the sponsored InMail. Because like I said, we're getting, those messages into people for about $1 a piece, sometimes as low as 50 cents, sometimes as high as a couple bucks. And they're converting so well because those people have already been to our site and indicated some interest. So those appointments coming from that sponsored InMail are sometimes 50 to $100 a piece.
Thanks for listening to The Fighting Entrepreneur with your host, Anik Singal.